Hello and welcome to Avid 9 Back to School Night presentation. My name is Jessica Glenn. Your students call me Miss Glenn. And for your reference on this first screen is my contact information, both my email and my phone number. I wanted to start off this presentation by just giving you a quick glance at what our Avid 9 family looks like so far. We took this photo at the end of the second week of school after doing a scavenger hunt to get acquainted with a lot of the important places on campus. So it is me and all of your students. So my agenda for the day, I want to do a quick introduction about myself, give you an overview of what Avid is all about, our schedule, our routines, tell you about 9th grade Avid specifically, what to expect for your student for this year, and then just general advice, ways to support your Avid students for this year. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Southern California, and after graduating from high school, I attended the University of Oregon. I majored in math and minored in computer science. I absolutely loved my time there. I tell every student that if they ever want to be convinced to attend a specific university, ask me about University of Oregon because I have nothing but wonderful things to say. Whoops, let's not let my computer die. Shortly after graduating from University of Oregon, I moved down to the Bay Area to attend Stanford University, where I received my teaching credential and a master's in education. I really love being in this area, and it is what brought me to Fremont High School. So I'm very thankful for that time as well. I am teaching a variety of subjects this year. I am a math and computer science teacher, as well as being the Avid teacher. So I teach Avid to your freshmen during first block, and then I have 2 courses where I teach programming and 3 courses where I teach geometry. That is more than a full load for the year, so I have already let your students know, and they are aware of the fact that my classroom and my schedule is quite busy. They always have access to me whenever they need, but that they should do a good job of reaching out via email or coming during tutorial rather than just dropping by my room for this year because of that schedule. Avid as a program, the acronym stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And the idea is that it is a 4-year program in order to allow students to be A through G eligible. Students must meet the contract expectations, and they will sign that contract soon in the year to make sure that they are keeping up with their end of the agreement in order to be a part of our Avid family. Ideally, the goal of Avid is to let students have a life that they get to choose, give them the most opportunities possible, create dedicated students in order to have strong applicants to apply to 4-year colleges later on. For the Avid class, our grade scale is shown below. A and B are the traditional 10%, and then for C, D, and F, it shifts just slightly. We want students to feel like they can pass our course and maintain the workload of our course, but we also hold them to high standards for achieving A's and B's. Our class is made of 3 main categories: tutorial, which I will talk more about, assignments and projects, which I will talk more about, and organization, which again, I will say more things about on future slides. So a week in Avid looks like this. Mondays, there's always some kind of an organization check, checking students' binders, checking their agendas, making sure that students are staying organized, and that those things that are then checked are recorded in the gradebook under the category of organization. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, students have what we consider and call tutorial for Avid, separate of tutorial/flex, that's the office hours built into the schedule. Tutorial in Avid is a time where students come in with a question and a point of confusion from one of their other academic classes, and then they work in study groups of sorts to try to figure out the exact point of confusion and allow students to usually find solutions to their questions. And there's always a variety of other activities that are happening throughout the week in Avid as well. Those activities happen in the 45 minutes that are not tutorial, or in the time on Mondays after the organization checks. So we learn about how to take notes, how to send professional emails, talk about time management. There's guest speakers. We do projects on colleges, careers, getting to know ourselves, getting to know one another as a community. All of those kinds of things are activities that happen in Avid, as well as the organization and the tutorial that are built in each week. Specifically for ninth grade, my goal for your students is that they're becoming a strong student, that they are adjusting to high school, that they understand the resources available to them, and that they are becoming strong high school students. Ideally, we have 2 field trips that will happen this year for students to visit colleges and universities, one to UC Santa Cruz, hopefully in November of 2022, pending funding, and another to Santa Clara University in the spring of 2023, so that way they have that continuous college focus. I showed your students this curve of forgetting idea within the first 2 weeks of school. The idea being that interacting and re-interacting with concepts that they see in their classes allows them to retain information at a much higher percentage. Without a revisit, material is often forgotten quite quickly. And therefore, it is part of Avid that they will have homework every night to do something to interact with their other classes. So that might be taking notes, looking over notes, writing summaries of their notes, annotating their notes, doing tutorials. All of those are ways where students will be revisiting content of their other courses to make sure that they are retaining the information in their other courses to be the strong students that we want them to be. And then finally, things that you can do to help support your Avid students for this year. Just to acknowledge that being a strong student is difficult. It requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of mental energy, and giving them the grace and the coaching and the empathy and all of the things that come with being a parent of a high school student, but specifically knowing that they're really trying and putting in the work in those ways. Helping them to prioritize school and studying when they have free time is something that you can do to support them. Providing them a quiet place to be able to study and do homework and things like that. While I am not the parent of a teenager, oftentimes things like bedtime and phone control can allow students to have a better routine and schedule and maintain that strong student study habits of when should they be working, when should they be looking at technology and having time off to then enjoy themselves, and when they should be sleeping, because sleep is so important. And along with that is the fun that comes along with being a high school student, getting to celebrate their successes, their efforts throughout the year, the things that they are finding out and accomplishing in all of their classes in Avid, and just getting to enjoy the time with them because it goes by very quickly. Very specific actions that you can take if you are looking to find ways to check in with your Avid students about things that are going on for Avid or in all of their other classes. Check in with students daily about what homework that they might have. This is something that you can do to make sure that they are keeping up on their homework, that they got it written in their agenda, that they're staying on top of their assignments. There is a way to use our Schoology, which is the school-based website where students have all of their classes and the assignments are posted, as well as Infinite Campus, where you can check students' attendance and their grades. Keeping track of students' progress grades every 6 weeks and at the semester is another way to make sure that you are supporting them and staying on top of their progress throughout the year. You can visit colleges with your students in your free time if that's something that is within your bandwidth to do, and talk to them about their futures, things that they're interested in, careers, college paths, passions, and share those from yourself if you have stories to share about decisions that you made. And finally, a really easy, quick one would be to make sure that you're saving tax returns and documents that might be needed later on down the line for financial aid and scholarships when it comes to applying to colleges in 3 years. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at any time. Again, my phone number and with the extension and my email are there listed on the slide. I want students to get in the good habit of reaching out to me themselves. So if your student has a concern, have them reach out to me. But if you have a concern and want to talk to me, of course, please don't hesitate to reach out to me so that we can support your Avid student to be the best that they can be this year.